Hello, everybody, and I'm here to say, if you are a kid, stay the fuck away. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a read of Lyre. I'm your host, Will, and this is...
A bitch who still has a ukulele and loves it.
Congratulations, Pikamain. It's been 10,000 years since you actually used your name in these intros.
Oh wait, I
And
have a name.
yes, you do. And as always, May. Clap, 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 clap.
Clap,
Yeah.
clap,
Clap, clap, clap, clap. New chapter! We're inching ever closer to the end of the visual novel. Anyway, I'm gonna kill myself. Ooh, you're gonna have more voices than I am. Never mind, I'm the narrator.
Ha.
Oh my god.
If I suffer, I'll take you with me.
Shut up, Thomas.
Ha!
Winter's harsh retribution on summer grows more relentless with each passing day. Flakes of snow gently fall down from the sky above, landing on Lyle's dark brown fur. The ground beneath his paws is frigid, but after being outside all morning, he has gotten used to it. Most of the people in these parts are used to it. Even the plants are rarely affected by the frozen shower of flurry. He weakly kicks at a small pile of snow, watching it toss up into the air before landing on the ground ahead of him. Taking these walks helps him think, and being out here is better than being in the castle. For the past few days, he's been trying to do everything that he can to help Richter. He hasn't been very successful though. The only contact he's been able to make with him is through a couple small letters. And he's not allowed to write anything important on them. Nothing helpful, at least. So they usually just end up being notes with words of encouragement or promises. It won't matter anyway, given the fact that Richter can't send anything back. Lyle stopped sending them after a while anyway. The fact that they need to be read by others is a breach of his privacy he'd rather not go through. As he slowly walks down the path, his eyes drifts in the direction of the small pond underneath the dragon apricot tree. It was only a few weeks ago when he and Richter were sitting under that tree. It almost feels like a few months, half a year even.
I wonder why.
Shut up. It was only I already said that line. Tee. The memory of that day always brings a smile to his face. He had never been able to be so open with someone like that before. Without it blowing up in his face, at least. He was scared, but no matter how nervous he was, he felt comfortable. It was such a happy moment. Now lives a bittersweet taste in his mouth. Lyle's paw brushed against stiff grass underneath the snow as he walks towards the pond. The idea of showing this to Richter fills him with a little bit of joy. Winter in Lyle is nothing like winter in Erin from what he's heard. In Erin, it rarely snows, and if it does, most of the plants, such as flowers and things like that, need to be kept warm or they'll die. But here, in Lyre, all of the plants have been adapted to the climate. Sure, they lose a bit of their color and become stiff, but other than that, they're usually fine. It really creates a beautiful winter. Lyle stops by the tree stump at the edge of the pond and sits down, moving his cape so that he doesn't tug on it while sitting. His tail brushes against the snow and it sends a chill throughout his body. But it's a chill that feels nice. His trousers are thick enough that his rear isn't immediately shocked by the cold surface of the stump. Even then, his fur does an excellent job at keeping him from being too cold. Once he's relaxed, he leans forward with his paws clasped together in his lap, looking down at the water's frozen surface. Once he's relaxed, he leans forward with his paws clasped together in his lap, looking down at the water's frozen surface. He reminisces on that bittersweet memory once more, thinking about when Richter picked pieces of the rest of his apricot and tossed them onto the pond. Small fish would swim up and swarm the pieces, pushing them around the water surface, creating ripples across the whole pond. Richter was being very quiet. Lal had already finished all of his fruit, so he sat there watching Richter, wondering if the private conversation really went as well as he thought it did. Now the small body of water is completely frozen. Lal picks up one of the apricots and examines it. It's rock solid and covered in frost. He takes off one of his gloves and holds the pink fruit in his paw. The cold skin brushes up against his paw pads and sends a shiver up his arm. He then looks down at the palm of his paw and stares at it with a melancholy look. Pads on his paw are dark and rough, with large claws coming out from the tips of his fingers. The rest is covered in fur. Compared to the soft skin and long articulate fingers on Richter's hand, they are much different. He chuckles to himself. No matter what he thinks about, his thoughts always go back to Richter. It can't be helped. Whether he's thinking about how awful their situation is, or how much he cares for him, Richter is always on his mind. He looks back down at his paw again. The human and the wolf. Even in Aaron, something like that must be rare. But in Lyre? Lyle can think of any time he's heard of something like that happening. Similar things have happened before, but usually there is at least something akin between the two partners. Lyle loves him very much, but even he has to admit there's a bit of a gap between the two of them biologically. Before he can continue to delve deeper into his thoughts, his ears perk up as he hears boots crunching through the snow. He lifts his head and turns in the direction of the noise. Elizabeth approaches from the path just outside the entrance into the castle. She stares at him for a moment before continuing toward the pond. Her footwear crunch throughout the snow with a deep, grating noise. She's in her usual robes and doesn't look too cold, aside from the pale skin on her face turning red at the nose and cheeks. The only thing different about her is a pair of wool mittens. It's surprising that she even has the time to come out here. The investigation is still going on, and she rarely gets a moment to get away from it all. Lyle, on the other hand, isn't allowed near the investigation as much as he'd like. The only reason he's even able to be part of it is because he's a high-ranking individual and technically a witness. Not only that, but despite the restrictions Adrius has put on him, Lyle's power over the Royal Guard is still as strong as ever. When it comes to anything other than Richter, of course. So, despite Adrius and his wishes, Lyle needs to be there to lead the Royal Guard in their inspection. Liz steps off the small path and approaches the pond.
I thought you might be out here.
Her voice travels across the pond like a hawk taking a sharp dive.
Were you looking for me? I don't remember Lyle's voice.
That was Lyle's voice.
Wow.
Even when walking through a small layer of snow, her figure is as straight and balanced as it always is. When she gets closer, Lyle can't help but chuckle in his head at the reality that only when he's sitting down are they at eye level.
No, I just assumed I would come across you. It's not often that I come out here to think, especially with the weather. But I do stroll through here sometimes.
She looks down at the stump he's sitting on and smirks.
But I see my thinking spot has already been taken.
Lyle blushes slightly and jumps up from his seat.
It's my throne!
Shut up!
Don't you remember?
No.
Lyre was like, Raynor can keep his throne, this is mine. This is my throne.
Yes.
By all means, here.
It was only a joke.
No, I insist. You've been working hard lately. You should be resting. Not out here in the cold.
She stands there for a moment, looking up at him with a smile that spoke plenty of words before sitting down.
Sometimes you are too kind.
As long as nobody mistakes it for weakness.
Of course.
Lyle walks over to the tree and stands by the trunk, leaning his back against... Lyle walks over to the tree and stands by the trunk, leaning his back against the cold surface. Liz sits there quietly for only a moment, most likely gathering her thoughts before speaking again.
Lyle.
Yes?
Yes.
Will is Lyle confirmed, I guess.
Yep.
Why the fuck did I reply to Lyle? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I know it's not like we haven't seen each other in a while, but I just now realized that I've never properly asked. How have you been taking all of this?
He scuffs his paw at the ground, looking down and avoiding your eye contact.
I've been taking it as well as I can, I suppose.
He brings his back paw and kicks one of the fruit, watching it skate across the surface of the pond, before slowly coming to a stop near the bank on the other side.
I know Lyre was like family to you. And I can certainly confirm without a doubt that he adored you.
For some reason, Lyle can't help but think about the depressing funeral that was held only a couple days after Raynar's murder. It was a private gathering that only those closest to him were allowed to attend. The burial was held at twilight in the gardens where Elena was laid to rest. It was a sad day, and not a single person spoke. Instead, everyone just stood there quietly mourning. Adria said a few words, but other than that, he just silently sat in front of the grave, gently placing small flowers around both headstones. Lyle wanted to stay, but when everyone started to depart and Adris made no move to get up, Lyle knew that he too should probably go.
I wish none of this had happened.
I know. We all do. This whole tragedy might just plunge this kingdom into war.
Lyle shivers at the idea of a war breaking out.
I'm sure that another solution will present itself.
She continues to look at the ground, her eyes shrouded in gloom. Both of them sit there in silence for some time before she speaks up.
I spoke with Lord Richter the other day. I couldn't remember if I had told you or not.
Lyle straightens up after hearing this.
No, you didn't. How's he doing?
Not as bad as one would think, but still. He's not doing too great.
Just then, Lyle's chest feels like it twists into a knot. Leans against the tree, sliding down the trunk and slumping against it, sitting himself onto the cold snow beneath him. Nothing comes to mind that he could say, his thoughts completely clouded. Elizabeth's concerned voice breaks him out of his daze.
Are you okay? I'm sorry if that bothered you.
Even in the midst of his swirling thoughts, Lyle musters up the energy to give a polite response.
No, it's fine. You were only answering my hasty questions.
She relaxes a bit and places her hands on her lap.
I I know you have a strong devotion to him, but the rumors don't do it justice. They're a bit of an understatement, actually.
Oh yeah, the rumors.
Just a bunch of fools who talk about it as if there's nothing better to do. Everyone talks about it, as you probably know.
I know firsthand. I wish people would just mind their own damn business.
Trust me, so do I. It would make everything a lot easier. I just want you to know that I'm not judging you.
I know.
Did I get picked up?
Slight.
Barely.
I know.
Oops, that was a double tap accidentally.
I was, however, shocked with that display during the party.
Lyre slumps more into the tree, his face being surrounded by fluff around his neck.
Yeah.
Don't get the wrong idea. It's not in the way you think. After the initial shock, I was actually quite interested.
Really?
Yes. The amount of courage it must have taken for all of that.
Oh, she's a Lyle and Richter shipper. Yay!
No, she just sees Lyle interested in someone and it's like, you know what, go get him, girl.
Liz is an ally. We love her.
Yes, obviously. Best character right here, except for Lyle, because Lyle is best boy.
I'm best boy.
Yes. I'm not gonna say anything else to make it even weirder. Anyway.
Trust me, it wasn't as courageous as you think.
Still, it was impressive. Especially Richter's part in it. The way he told off all of those pompous half-wits from the higher houses. God, the looks on their faces were priceless.
Yeah.
They really hated that.
Yeah, it was great.
The interesting part about it was Richter's reaction. No normal person in his position would dare to do something like that. Compared to that day, he stumbled into the chambers with his thoughts scattered and manners thrown out the window. I'd say it was an improvement, but still. He was so different from every other ambassador I've come across. Like that one from Dries. He's strange, but there's no doubt he was politically trained. Unlike Richter, who...
Are you saying Richter isn't good at his job?
No, not at all. I like the fact that he's so different from the others. Besides, I haven't known him long enough to be able to make such a judgment.
Lyle looks down, embarrassed at his rushed attempt at defending Richter.
Sorry, I misunderstood. He hasn't had a chance to do much yet, but everything that he's done so far has been exceptionally. Mostly dealing with the crown's money. Making sure Reinhard didn't run the kingdom dry with another one of his extravagant parties. How many parties would Reinhard throw?
Birthday party. Winter solstice. Elena's birthday. Elena's morning. Wedding anniversary. Let's see.
Morning coffee party.
No.
Eating party.
Any important Lyre days. Stuff like that.
I breathe party.
I breathe party. No.
Someone had to.
She looks down with a smile on her face, but quickly fades once the levity of the situation dissipates.
I've gotten off track, though. I know that you're a good man. When you were a young lad, you always strove to do what's right, even if it wasn't in your best interest.
But...
She lets out a sigh.
But sometimes I think you're in over your head.
There it is.
Lyre lets out a short exhale through its nose, causing a puff of cold breath to appear in front of it.
I want to trust you on this. Really, I do. There's not much for me to go off of other than your word.
Lyre seems to sink further into his armor. It's as if he'll disappear into himself at any given moment.
Do you have any evidence that can help clear his name? Anything to bring to the trial?
Of course, but I don't think it will be enough.
Anything that you haven't told us yet that could be useful?
Everything I know has been laid out for all to hear. Along with all the evidence everyone's been looking at for the past week. It's almost as if they're trying to make it seem like they haven't already made their decision.
She places her hands on her lap, looking down at them with a thoughtful face.
I know you have these feelings for him, and I'm happy for you, but you're risking a lot right now. More than you could possibly imagine.
She brushes the snow off her legs and stands up, looking him in the eye. He looks up at her and sits up straight, realizing she's leaving.
You're going to find yourself at a crossroads soon. We all are. The question is, will you risk it all, or will you abandon everything?
Lyle clumsily stands up with a confused look on his face.
What?
It's just something to think about.
Not the way that Liz predicted that you're either gonna have to fuck off or Ricky's gonna fucking die.
Something I've been thinking about for a long time. Not the warmest note to end on, but I assure you, giving it some thought will prove useful.
She brings her hands behind her back and gives a nod.
It's about time I went back inside the warm walls of the castle.
Of course.
Listen, Lyle.
His ears perk up as she continues.
I've put my trust in you. But whatever happens, I want you to know. I just want what's best for this kingdom.
What's best for this kingdom is to kill Adrius. Anyway.
And I'm sorry for anything that happens.
Lyle's attempt at coming up with any response to what she said slowly dissipates as she walks away towards the entrance to the courtyard. One of the castle guards comes out of the door, safely ushering her into the hall. Lyle looks up into the air, snowflakes falling down gracefully like stars against the foggy blue sky. What she said doesn't feel so reassuring though. If anything, it just makes the rest of this week feel like it's going by faster. Everything seems to be slowly creeping up on... Everything seems to be slowly creeping up on them with every passing day. This feeling of dread would be enough to make anyone crumble. That on top of the constant thought of Richter sitting alone in that cell, slowly losing all hope. Caramel doesn't start playing anyway. Lyle looks down at his paw, the glove still firmly grasped in it. The little claws at each fingertip jingle and clank into each other as he grips it tighter.
I swear.
He releases his grip, sliding the glove back into his paw.
I'll get you out of there. No matter what. I'll prove it to them.
He says this while looking at the ground, as if he was talking in the direction of Richter down in their cell. There is one thing that he could do, though. And this would be the perfect time to stop the episode!
Yes, cliffhanger!
We love those. We love those. They're so fun.
Yeah, especially after experiencing those on my channel.
Suffer. Anyway. I hope that you enjoyed this episode of The Read of Lyre, and if you did, like, comment, and subscribe to any of these things in any order, I don't really mind. And if the content on my channel wasn't enough to satisfy, you can go over to Pikamain's channel.
Where I do other stuff.
Great,
Like
fantastic,
this.
joyful even.
Awesome.
Where we have a reading of Sylving, Kimia, and Xenia. And if you want to hear more of May, stick around for Maya for more Violet Memoir, because she's more often there, because an important character is May. What?
You also forgot to mention the other thing on my channel.
That is your job! Like, that is your job.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your job is to fucking to pitch your channel. Anyway, moving on from that, and I hope that I get to see you in the next episode, but even if I don't, I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.